My name is Edwin Skapsts. I'm born in Latvia, Lettonie en français. Et la Lettonie, c'est un pays de baltes, ensemble avec Lituanie, c'est les deux pays de baltes. Avec la langue, c'est un groupe petit groupe de langue, langue baltique. Et comme ça, j'étais né partie ouest de Lettonie qui s'appelait Kurzeme. Oui. Et j'étais né à farm. I was a farm boy. When I was a boy, I was a member of the 4-H club. I don't know if you know it. The 4-H club is a youth organization similar to Scouts, except it's more for farm people. In the club, there are responsibilities that you have to do. For example, you have to grow something. So when I was boy, I was growing. At the beginning, I was growing sunflowers, for example. See, but you have to grow something that's productive, something that is produced from the soil, so that. Later on, I started to grow trees, apple trees, prepare apple trees. I had a little nursery at my place, you see. So then, when it came to further studying, going to further into to school, I chose horticulture. And the school was away from home. Then the school was near Riga, the capital of Latvia. The school was a horticultural college, but it had a strong program of design. At school, we would tell each other, one day you'll be the director of parks, and you can make the plans, and they will be made. The parks will be made the way you made the plan. Le printemps 44, la guerre, deuxième guerre était presque finie, juste un an après, et le front avançait près de nous. On n'a pas de convocation, pas de diplôme. Moi, j'étais pris par l'Allemagne, parce que c'était une occupation allemande. I was 19 when I was finishing school and left Latvia at that time. See, I came to Canada in 1948 and in order to come to Canada, there was a contract to be signed to work at a special designated place. I came to Montreal, in fact, because I had heard that there's a Latvian theater that was forming here in Montreal in the summer of 1949, and I wanted to be an actor. But when I came to Canada, I made an application for the city of Montreal for a landscape architect. In the spring of 1950, I found out about Montreal Parks and Playgrounds Association Incorporated. The executive director was William Bowie. You see, I found out about him. I went to see his office was at 265 Craig Street. C'est Saint Antoine. It's Saint Antoine now. See, I went to see him, and I told him that I'm a landscape planner, see, and I'm looking for a job. So he gave me a card like this. He said, "This will introduce Edwin Skapsts, park designer." Comme ça. And he sent me to see the city architect. And he also told me that they don't really need a landscape architect. They said, but maybe they could use a technician. There was a landscape architect who was working for the city of Montreal. His name was Howitt. He was a graduate of Harvard, as a matter of fact, but he was already retirement age almost, you see. And he called me in, and he gave me a piece of paper, and said, "You are a park designer. Design a park." He gave me 3 hours to do it. And I received a letter to report for work, 1st of March, 1950. I worked a lot in the Canadian Society of Landscape Architects. I was a council member, and I was later on, I was treasurer, and I was vice president. And then at that time, I found out that it was in fact the Canadian Society of Landscape Architects was across Canada like a club, you see. And at that time, when I became president in 1970, I worked on the bylaws that were approved at a meeting in Toronto to make Canadian Society of Landscape Architects a federation, in other words, and that each individual province had an association, and they would be in a way tied together, but in the provincial association, it was decided who can be member, and also collect dues. Otherwise, it was very difficult. It was very difficult to collect dues across Canada, and my 2 years as a president ended in 1972 in Vancouver. Apparently, I received the fellowship in 1973. It was in connection with the work that I had done as president, as connection with the bylaw, changing of the bylaws, and so on. So that I suppose that was you could choose whether either just aluminum or gold, and the gold cost $60. J'ai visité l'endroit en hiver, et le projet était de faire un terrain de golf. No problem. J'ai trouvé renseignements comment on fait un tour de terrain de golf. Quand j'ai fini le plan de projet pour golf en 1958, le M. Gasol, qui était chef de groupe en ce temps-là, on me demandait, Monsieur Laborard demande qu'on fait un plat pour Place d'Armes. Comme ça, je travaillais pendant l'été, mais on a fini le plan préliminaire en 1959. Ça, c'est un bon plat. Bon. J'ai levé le niveau plus haut, 18 pouces à ce bout-là, et ici, 5 marches ici, et créé un centre, partie centrale, plus haut que le rue, et aussi placé au niveau, comme ça. Parce que j'essayais de garder ma langue maternelle. Je parle, je crie en letton. J'ai fait, comme ce soir, nous avons choir practice, au chœur, je chante cours lettonien, et j'ai pris part en Lettonie, la forte tradition est de faire des festivals de chant. Comme ça, j'essayais de garder ma langue vive. Je jouais au théâtre, j'étais un acteur en théâtre en Lettonie. Et ça c'est la chose. Après ça, j'ai fait des recherches. Deuxième chose, j'ai fait des recherches pour ma famille. J'ai trouvé des renseignements pour ma famille il y a 2 ans. 200 ans, à partir de 1808. J'ai même un plan. J'ai fait des recherches pour la famille Skapsts. Oui. Voilà. Et maintenant, peut-être dans tout ça, il y a plus que 250. Chaque année, on fait une réunion. Chaque année, cette année aussi, j'étais aux réunions là. Et comme ça, comme je n'ai pas de famille moi-même, je pensais que ça c'est ma contribution à la famille, que je fais des recherches dans les archives pour trouver les racines, et aussi pour voir qu'il y a du monde qui sont là, qui continuent la langue, les traditions aussi. Ça, c'est la deuxième chose. Et la troisième chose, naturellement, ma contribution pour l'architecture de paysage à la ville de Montréal.